Hey everyone, welcome back to the Nature Patch. My name is Robin and today is a really exciting video because I'm going to be sharing with you my recipe for Rosella Jam. It is the most delicious floral scented jam you will ever taste, and I would highly recommend trying this recipe if you can get your hands on some rosellas or if you can grow rosellas in your climate. They do really well in a subtropical climate, which is where I am right now. They can be a perennial plant, or you can also grow them as an annual in more temperate, cooler areas. So I pretty much grew up on Rosella jam as a kid. I lived in North Queensland where rosellas were abundant, and we would always go down to the markets and get some homemade Rosella jam from some of the ladies who sold them down there. And it's a recipe that I really want to continue to make for my family and my kids when I have kids. So I'm really excited to share this recipe with you. So the Rosella bush is a type of hibiscus. It's not technically from Australia or native to Australia, but it has been naturalised in many areas of Australia, so it's kind of technically classed as some bush tucker. So you can eat the leaves of the Rosella bush or you can use the fruit. So I'm going to be using the fruit today to make jam, but you could also make loads of other things with it. It is such a great source of vitamin C and lots of other different nutrients that I will link some resources down below so you can learn more about the Rosella tree. So behind me here is one of my Rosella bushes looking absolutely stunning with all of the fruits on it. So I'm going to show you how I harvest these ones and then we can go make some jam. So these red plump spiky looking things here are the CALYX from the Rosella, and this is what we want to harvest for the jam and if you're making teas or anything like that. So they typically form after the bush starts to flower. The flowers are really pretty in themselves, but this is what we want to harvest here. So the bush right now is covered with these calyxes, so I'm going to go ahead and chop a few of them off and show you what they look like. So this is what they look like up close, and this is exactly how you want to be picking them. So inside, just to quickly show you, once you pull them apart, inside here is the green pod. It might be a little bit different colour depending on your Rosella, and this is where all of the seeds are. So this is just what they look like. I probably recommend wearing gloves because there's a few little spikes on these. But these are the two components that we want for the jam. So this is the calyx fruit part and this is the seed pod, and I'm going to be showing you what we do with each of these. But for now I'm going to go ahead and pick quite a few of these calyxes. So the really good part about this recipe is you don't need a certain number of rosellas. It can really just be however many you have, and then we adapt the recipe for that. For this though, to make a good amount of jam, I'd probably suggest minimum around 60 calyxes. But if you've got less than that, don't worry, you can just make a smaller batch of jam. This is the second harvest of rosellas that I have done. I've gone through and harvested quite a few before to make one batch of jam, and then I let all of these ones plump up a little bit more. You can leave the rosellas and they can act as a perennial and will possibly fruit and flower again. But in my climate, we do get some frosts here. So I'm not going to be keeping some of these plants except one just to save the seeds. Okay, so these are all of the rosellas that I've picked. There's probably just over 100 in here. And what I've done is I've cut them off the stem just so that I have the fruit here. Like that. And what I'm going to do before I do anything with them, I'm actually going to put all of these into a bucket of water. I had a few ants running around mine, I had a few aphids, but it's no problem. The ants will just float to the top, and any other creepy crawlies that are in the rosellas, we're also going to be rinsing them when we take the seed pods out as well. So this is just the first rinse. And I'm just going to let these sit in here for about 5 minutes or so, and then I'll take them out and I will separate them like I showed you before with the seed pod and the fruit. Alright, so I'm in the kitchen now and I have separated all of the seed pods and the fruit flesh. So in here I've got all of the seed pods, and this is all of the Rosella flesh that you get out of it. So these are the two main ingredients of the jam that you'll need. You'll also need some white sugar and the juice of 1 lemon. So first off, we're going to be dealing with the seed pods. The seed pods is where we get our pectin from, and the pectin is what makes up the jelliness of the jam that kind of holds it all together. So to get that pectin out, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting this into a saucepan, the one behind me, and we're going to be covering the seed pods with just about that much water. and we're going to let that boil and simmer away for half an hour or so. And then we're going to reserve this water to put in with the rest of these, and then we'll boil that on as well, but I'll show you those steps now. So that is pretty much the recipe for the Rosella jam. That took about 35 minutes or so to reduce down to a consistency that I like. And the way that I test the consistency to see that it's kind of ready is to put a little plate in the freezer. And then what you can do is grab a little bit of your mixture and then put a little drop of it onto the cold plate. And then let it cool down a little bit, and you'll be able to see whether it sets to the consistency that you like. So it's not going to run or drip down the plate. It's formed a bit more of a jelly-like texture, and it's quite sticky when I touch it. So that is how I like the jam to be. So it's all ready to be put into jars. So I have sterilized these jars by just washing them in hot soapy water, and then I put them into an oven to dry and cool a little bit. And I've also washed the lids as well. So I'm going to put all of this mixture into the jars by just ladling it in, and then seal them up when they're done. So thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and please let me know if you try this recipe out. I would love to see how you recreate it. I'm going to be giving some of these to some family and probably make another batch next weekend because I still have so many more rosellas on the tree. It is such a lovely jam and perfect to have on toast or on scones. Thank you so much for watching again. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more videos or more recipes from me. And until my next video, happy gardening guys. Bye.